Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. Honored to be connecting in with you. Today, we're going to be talking about real stories, real lessons, and real tools for life. How powerful is that? We all need encouragement. We like to hear authentic, real stories, and being able to have tools, processes that we can add to our toolbox can make such a difference as we navigate our journey and navigate through life and those highs and those lows and those challenges and those exciting times. How do we navigate? How do we have tools that we can tap into to help us, to help our communication, to help our families, to help our teams, to help our upcoming generations? How do we come together to do that? We have two amazing experts today that are going to be sharing some of their story and the powerful work that they have and are bringing forward and do in the world to help our teens and families. So I'm very excited to be bringing them to all of you today. I know we've got a great information that's going to be supportive of you, and they each have their own powerful stories and journeys that I know will be inspiring to all of you as well. So I'm thrilled to have you joining us today, an opportunity for you to choose to be present and really be poured into, because I know there's a reason that you connected today. And I know there's something here for you. And here's the opportunity to allow yourself to be, to release all that no longer serves. Breathe in this beautiful moment for you, this time that we come together to support and pour into you. The trick to being poured into is being open, which means you want to make sure you're being present. So often we multitask, get pulled a zillion directions. I'm going to encourage you to just pause, breathe deeply. Everything else can wait. This time is for you. You get to be poured into. You get to be present. And as we take those deep breaths in through your nose, all the way to your toes, even wiggle your toes. I wiggle mine. Make sure I get air and oxygen throughout my body, every cell. And as I breathe out, I'm releasing what no longer serves, creating room and space for more. As you breathe, becoming present, you're actually lowering your cortisol levels, your stress levels. You're becoming more aware of even those still small voices that are within you. So often we're so busy, we don't slow down and listen to that which is bubbling up within us. And there can be great encouragement, love, wisdom, and reminders when we stop to listen. So I'm going to invite you today during our time together to listen. Listen with your heart. Listen to what's being shared and listen to what's between the lines and what's coming up within you as you tune in and are present to what is being brought forward. To help us, let's take another deep breath. Close your eyes. You're absolutely safe. I want us fully oxygenated for our time together. Beautiful. As you breathe out, I invite you to put both hands on your heart, noticing the beat of your heart. Keep breathing. And tune into that pause in between the beats. That still, small, quiet moment. And as you tune in, what is it sharing with you today, beat by beat, pause by pause. What message is coming forward? What is it that you need today? What will empower, encourage, and support you that you are willing to receive, because you do have choice? See how that shifts and alters what is coming forth. Beautiful. Let's take another deep breath. Eyes open, fully present. And take a moment and write down what was laid on your heart, that message, a reminder, encouragement, or need that bubbled up. Take a moment and write it down. This helps it stop swirling around inside of you and actually brings it into reality. You're co-creating this. You're giving the opportunity to interact with it and bring it forward. So take a moment and write that down and keep that paper and pen handy so that you can take notes throughout our time together today, because I know there will be an insight or something, or hopefully multiple insights that bubble up and come forward as you enjoy and engage in our conversation today. Beautiful. Take another beautiful breath, and we're going to go around our virtual room here and see what's been laid on our guest's heart as we stop, paused, and listened. And MK, I'd love to start with you. What was laid on your heart when you took a moment to stop, pause, and listen?
Well, hello, Rebecca. Thanks for having me. What is on my heart and just comes up often in my life is the phrase that I use all the time is you can do hard things. And just the reminder, I think I am feeling in my world and maybe in all of our world that we can do hard things and we can do amazing things. So it's just a reminder that I give to myself, but give to everyone around me as well.
Beautiful. Thank you. I love that, because we can do hard things and we need to be reminded sometimes. I love that. And amazing things as well. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Jheri, how about you? What's coming forward for you as you take a moment to stop, pause, and listen?
Well, I just am feeling such an overwhelming feeling of desire for connection with other women. The reason I did this work was to, initially, I wanted to help women who were going through the same thing that I was going through, and that later led me down a path of helping families and teens. But as a teenager, I remember hearing a quote, "It's never too late to become the person you're meant to be." And I loved it so much, I used it as a bookmark at school. And it's interesting the way throughout my life that quote has manifested so many times, and my work aligns with that. And the connection I want to feel with women to help inspire them to understand the meaning of that quote. And also, I find that every time I do a podcast or have the opportunity to work with women, I'm inspired as well. And so I love this space where we can connect with others and learn from each other, but just the strong desire and understanding right now of like how important it is that we connect with each other and learn from each other and are willing to be vulnerable with one another.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And I agree. There's such a need for connection. And here's an opportunity. We can come together all around the world, whether we're listening to the show live or we are listening to the replay. We can hold that energy of connection and authenticity and supporting each other in the energy of the show. And so I appreciate that. And I love that you are bringing that along with that reminder that we can always move forward and become that person that we are meant to be, that it's never too late. I love that encouragement and reminder. Oh, thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. Listeners, I'm so curious as we come together, what's coming up for you? What's bubbling up? What sort of things are you wanting to add to the mixture of the energies that we get to weave together, the support, the connection, that heart space that we get to meet in and be part of together. What is coming up for you? As we get ready to go to our first commercial break, this is an opportunity for you to stay present, to really listen to what is being spoken to you, what is coming forward from your heart. As MK and Jheri have been sharing and I'm sharing, and that gets weaved together, what is that bringing forward? Listen, receive, and we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Follow Voice America at facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com and make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed those 2 minutes and that opportunity to really be still and listen and receive. I find when I do that in my life and I remember to take 1 minute, 2 minutes and just be and breathe, I can feel so much more in sync, peaceful, aligned. No matter what's going on around me, I can step forward in a more centered way, a more peaceful way, more aligned with who I want to be in the world when I remember to take those moments. So I hope you enjoy those moments. We've built them throughout the show to really support you in being present, taking in that which serves, breathing out which no longer does, as you continue our time together today. Oh, I'm very excited to introduce our first guest. You got to hear a little bit from both of them in our opening segment. So I'm excited to introduce our first guest and have her share a little bit with you. So Jheri South is a master ADHD instructor, certified teen and parent coach. She's a mom of 7 neurodivergent kids and founder of Headspace Hub, creator of ADHD Simplified, and is passionate about empowering teens, parents, and families to communicate better and overcome those habits that are holding them back. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful and dynamic Jheri South to the show. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. It's so great to be here.
Wonderful. Well, I'm glad to have you joining us. And I wanted to start with why? Why is this work so important to you that you've created programs in different ways that you're helping teens and families in this area? Why is this personally so important to you?
Well, it's a great question, and there's a personal story here, and I'll give you just the quick version. Is that as a single mother of 6 children and maneuvering through all of that, I started to struggle with my children. I almost lost my oldest son to suicide, and he had been to doctors and therapists. Nobody could help him. Nobody diagnosed him correctly. Nobody could reach him. And I really started to believe I was just going to lose my son. And as I'm helping other women as a coach and I'm loving what I'm doing, I was convinced by the women I was working with to do a program for teens. And I reluctantly did because my son at the time did not like me very much. I didn't want to work with teens. I thought teens are hard. My son doesn't even like me. And I did a pilot program. I had about 10 or 15 kids at the time. It was the first thing that helped my son. And that's when I immediately recognized the power of what I had here. One by one, members of my family started to be diagnosed with ADHD. Now I know that 5 of my children are on the spectrum. 6 of the 7 have ADHD. I have ADHD myself, and I made it my mission to help my family. I sat down with some of the top specialists in the United States, brought camera crews to their living room, and I've learned everything I could learn because there's so much misinformation. It's so hard to get good help for neurodivergence, and that has turned into a business where I'm helping families. I'm teaching in the schools. I'm working with the sheriff on youth development programs to help kids where I really feel like there's a big need in the world of neurodivergence to get good information and help to those who are looking for it.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And I love that one thing you were resistant to, right? Doing.
Yes.
My son
teenagers.
Right now, teens. And yet that was the one thing that helped shift and move things forward and started this beautiful path that you've been able to create and bring support to your family and to so many. And you mentioned that you've been diagnosed. And I know one of the talking points that you shared with me was that you were diagnosed at age 40. So it's not something you knew all along. You were diagnosed at age 40. And I'm so curious how that has affected you. One, receiving that diagnosis, and then what did you do with it?
Well, it's interesting because there's so much misinformation. Most of my kids, I would not have guessed, have ADHD. They didn't fit the typical, the stereotypical ADHD symptoms. And I myself didn't know enough. I never would have guessed that I had ADHD. It really, when I recognized that I had ADHD and my family was being diagnosed, everything started to make sense. So this was actually really good news to have a name for what we were experiencing, for rejection sensitivity dysphoria, for ADHD, for the likelihood of comorbidity and what ADHD really is versus what I thought it was. And so once I was diagnosed, I started to learn as much as I could so that I could help my family. And not only did so many of the debilitating things that I had dealt with over my lifetime to that point make sense, but also the superpowers associated with ADHD. And so I really leaned into that, not being scared of a label, but wanting to learn as much as I could about my unique neurological wiring, and so that I could help my children. And I've really tried to be a voice for the positive side of ADHD and how we can learn to create, these strengths with our superpowers. And so trying to not only help myself, but help my children and be an example for them of what is possible and teach them the things that I didn't know so that they really could, thrive in an environment where sometimes it's not so ADHD friendly.
Thank you for sharing. And I love what I'm hearing. And I feel like this is a valuable tool for all of us to just take a moment here and add to our toolbox that when you receive this information, how one, it's like, oh, this makes sense. Click, 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 that falls into place. That makes sense. And you became curious, throwing away labels, because I think sometimes we get attached to labels. I think that's a great thing to add to our toolbox.
Yes.
Am I getting attached to a label? Am I believing a label, or am I digging in deeper? And I like how you chose to dig in deeper and get empowered and learn, what does this mean? What is the good? How can I harness this? How can I help others with this information now that I know? And I think it's such a gift if we can learn how we are wired and then learn how to navigate playing more to our strengths or superpowers, as you said, is a great perspective for us to just take a moment and picture everyone kind of opening up your toolbox. Let's add these couple of perspectives in to really support you in all of your walks, because we're all wired differently. We all have different feelings about certain names and titles that we can get attached to. And what a gift it is to be able to, oh, am I doing that? Let me go deeper. How can I learn more and help? And I like that you were willing to dig below the misinformation or myths to really find the truth and bring that forward. So I appreciate the work that you do and how you're responding to those things and bringing them forward.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Now, not only do you have 7 children,
yes,
and you were diagnosed as ADHD, and you've been learning all about that and harnessing the superpowers in that. You're also an entrepreneur. And one of the things that can be difficult for any entrepreneur out there is balance. And then you're adding in 7 children, and you're adding in all the unique wirings everybody has within your family. How do you find balance in that? And do you have any tip that you can give to our listeners to finding balance when there's so much going on around you and you can be pulled in so many directions?
Well, balance is one of those words that can either it can cause you to feel some peace and relief, or it can cause stress because you recognize, oh, I don't know what that looks like. I don't have any. And so for me, I've learned to give myself a lot of grace. I learned early on that comparing myself to others, or that my balance, trying to make my balance look like someone else's balance, is never going to be a healthy thing for my mindset. And so having my own idea of what balance is, and learning that it's okay to reevaluate every week if I need to. What works for my schedule during 1 month or one phase of life or even 1 week can be very different the next week or the next month. And so just constantly checking in with myself, giving myself permission to change my mind. Maybe I decide that one way is the best way to go, and this is how I'm going to do things. And then after giving that a test drive, realizing, you know what, I don't think that does work well. And previous me really believed I have to do things a certain way. I have to do things the way other people do it. My balance, or the way that I'm a mom or a working mother of 7, not that I had a lot of friends that had 7 kids, but that it should look the way that other women are doing it. And when I gave myself permission to just create what I wanted to create, what felt good for me, there are some times that work takes over and I'm not getting as much family time as I'd like. And so I check in with myself at the end of the week and I figure out how I'm going to make adjustments. There's other times that work falls by the wayside and my family got a lot of time. I definitely don't feel guilty about that, but I check in with myself at the end of the week and I figure out how I can get the things done that I want to get done and still feel good. I think that that's the goal, is inside, do I feel good about my accomplishments for the week? And what I have found to be true is that having a mindset that gets stuck in comparison or shoulds and should nots is really what creates that feeling of not having balance. And when I can get right with my mindset, I find that everything else works out and feels balanced.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I love this, giving grace to yourself, checking in. And I'm curious, it sounds like you have a regular way that you're checking in every week. Do you mind sharing what that looks like for those who are like, I want to know how? This is great. I want to check in. But do you have a couple, either the way you do it or a couple of suggestions you have around that?
Well, I have a meeting with myself, so I prefer to do it on Sunday nights. Sometimes, in the past I did it Monday mornings, but I am constantly looking over, what does this week look like? When you have multiple children as well, there's school things going on, and then plus I'm working and I have different clients. And so it is necessary for me to constantly be looking over my schedule anyway. But even if that hadn't been the case, to check in with myself every Sunday night, I have a specific way that I work on my goals. I'm writing out every night, the night before, what are the top 3 outcomes that I had today, that were my top 3 wins that I'm most proud of, and what are the top 3 things that are most important to me that I get done tomorrow. That's good for me because it really keeps me in focus. If you just have a long list of things that need to get done, you're busy and you're not necessarily prioritizing goals. But I will sit down and look at what needs to be done, and then I prioritize. When I'm filling in my day timer, I start with appointments, doctor's appointments, things I have to be at. Maybe it's a school conference. And then after that, I schedule my free time before I schedule anything else. I make sure that movie night with my kids or dinner time, family home evening, what I'm going to be doing with them over the weekend is put in the planner first, and then I fill in everything else. So I'm really intentional about what is most important to me. And then I'm having that meeting with myself with my day timer, my top 3 outcomes for each day, and then what are the goals for the week. The reason we have goals is to supervise our brain. If I'm not intentional about what I want to create and what, my purpose is for that week, if I just leave my brain to its own devices, I will not get near as much done, and I will not stay on track with my priorities.
Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate you walking us through that a little bit. And I think that's right. Our brains are so amazing. They can do so many things, but they may go off in a direction that isn't necessarily bringing the key things forward that we're wanting to make sure happens. And I really appreciate the detail that you walked us through. And listeners, I want you to think about, again, opening that toolbox and checking in with yourself. And what is a regular way that you can do that? Is it a certain day of the week? And are you looking at what you're wanting to bring forward and having that be something that you're in charge of? Sometimes I'll say you get to be in charge, not the day. So it's just a reminder. Here's a way you can do that and harness the beautiful power of your brain, but also direct it, making sure that those things that are important to you are happening. And that was a really great framework that you shared with us, Jheri. So thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You are welcome. Well, and today with so many distractions and even just the scrolling of the phone, it's so easy to lose time. So I have to have something like that to keep myself on track.
Exactly. No, there's a lot that's pulling at us. And even sometimes I call it a disruptor or an alarm or something, just like a ding to check in. Oh, wait, where am I? Am I looking on Facebook scroll? Where am I?
Exactly.
Exactly. Let me check back in. So whatever those tools are that can be helpful can help us bring things forward. So I just really appreciate you, Jheri, and what you've shared with us, some of these great tips that you've brought forward and wonderful tools that we're able to add to our toolbox. We're getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do so, listeners, I want you to think about what Jheri has said, what she has shared with you, and what is bubbling up. What's one thing you can put on your paper that you can take action on? And maybe it's, I need to figure out when to check in with myself. Let me pull up my calendar and start to build that in, or give myself grace. Be willing to try new things. Are you feeling good about how things are unfolding in your life? What feels good and aligned for you? Are you tending to maybe have some of the shoulds fall into place? And let's, sink in, and let's start to remove some of those and really create what you want to create that brings you into alignment and feels good and aligned for what you want to bring forward in the world. Enjoy these 2 minutes, and we'll continue our conversation in just a moment.
A little birdie told me Voice America is on X. Follow us at Voice America TRN.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Have you become a member yet? Sign up now to become a member of Voice America. It's always free and easy. Plus, you get to take advantage of some great member benefits. Get unlimited access to millions of hours of on-demand content across all of our channels. Keep track of your favorite episodes, shows, and hosts in your own customizable library. Find out what shows you might be interested in based on your favorites. Plus, you get insider access with our newsletter. Membership gives you more. Sign up at voiceamerica.com and click register at the top right.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and that opportunity to be present and see all the things that are speaking to you, kind of looking at what you want to add to your toolbox and take forward with you. And so much of it starts with how we are looking at things, how we are wired, and making sure to give ourselves grace and check in with that on a regular basis. And even as I'm reflecting back and thinking about that one thing that Jheri was resistant to in starting that group, she leaned into anyway, and it created such a powerful ripple. So that's another thing to add to the questions you check in on. What are some of the things that I'm resistant to? And could they maybe help move you forward in those things that you are wanting to have in your life and build and create for you and those in your life? So great questions to explore. Excited to bring our next amazing guest on. And we have had MK join us several times on our show, and I just love her and her energy, and excited to bring her to all of us again today. So I know that you're going to enjoy our conversation. But for those of you who she is new to, I wanted to share just a little snapshot of her. So MK Bush is an international best-selling author who spent over 40 years supporting children's and teens in hospitals and support group settings and as a school counselor. She is a specialist in child life support and care. She has done a lot of group facilitation and support where she's helped teens navigate challenging and difficult situations and circumstances. She's the founder of You Can Do Hard Things program and is absolutely passionate about empowering teens today. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful, the heart-centered, and I would just say mission-driven MK Bush to the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. It's so great to be with you again.
I am so happy to have you joining us again and looking forward to what you have to share with us. So thank you for joining us today. And I wanted to start with why. Why is this work something that is so important to you? You've been in this field for so many years and continue to bring more forward to help and support teens. So one, I'd like to know why, and how does your adolescence experience tie into some of the reasons why you bring this work forward?
Sure. I'd love to share all of those parts. I believe that, I think what I got to do for over 40 years is I got to sit in these spaces with young people. And I just felt so lucky and so grateful to be in these spaces of just listening. And what very hard stories, very challenging things that I did listen to through the years. But what came through and why I decided I need to spread this message more is that I learned from teens in front of me that even with very difficult things in their lives and around them, that they could find ways and they could find strategies and tools to feel a little bit more in control, a little more confident about what was going on to reach their goals. And those tools are what showed up over and over, the same 8 tools that I kept seeing as I really thought through the very many different stories of just countless stories through 40 years. But what I found is they're really doing some of the same things. And I just felt compelled that this is something I need to put in a book. And at the end of my years of working with young people in front of me in these capacities, I felt like I needed to have some closure on sharing this message, that while their stories are so individual and I protect the confidentiality of their stories, I share some themes from their stories and how they use the life tools that became this book. And these are the tools that I hope for teens today to be accessing and being reminded that they have ways that they can take charge of their lives, no matter the circumstances. And I don't minimize that at all, of the challenges that teens are facing. But there are some very concrete actions that teens can be taking to create plans and to find success in their lives and to find that sense of control. So that's why I wrote the book. And that's how I just wanted to make this a simple, straightforward guidebook for teens to access and be able to just make their plans and go forward. So that's the reason for the book. And then the part that connects with me as a teenager, this was the book I needed as a teenager. And this is what I needed was this kind of empowering messages and some guidance. I needed some guidance and I needed some direction of some specific tools that I could use to take charge in my life. I did come across one tool that I learned worked for me as a teenager, and that was creating a plan for myself. That's really where these plans started, was even myself as a teenager to make a plan. When I moved to a new city and a new school, and I had to make a plan of how I would get involved and how I would show up. And I wanted so much to show up and have fun. But I was a shy teenager, and I had to think through what can I do differently and show up differently. So that's where my plan started, of creating different plans and different actions of how I would walk through the doors of that new school. So this was a book I needed. So with the many tools throughout the book and the 8 tools, I can say I've applied them in my own life.
Perfect.
Throughout my own adult life as well. So
thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And that was going to be a question. Did you discover one of those tools in your adolescence? So it was perfect.
Yes,
you answered that. And I also wanted to talk about why the book and a little bit about that. So I appreciate that you were able to weave all of that in to your why. And I love how they all tie together, which is beautiful. And so a couple of things I just want to pull out of what you shared and highlighted is the one, having a plan. There are 8 tools that you saw again and again really empowered and supported teens. And one of them was having a plan. And I think having a plan can help us at any age, any circumstances, and really looking at what do I want differently? What are some things I can do to shift that? What are some steps I can take? And remembering to stop and make a plan can really help shift things that we want to shift or we want to be different. And it also gives us a little bit more, I feel like, sense of control and ownership. So it's not just all these things happening at us. We can actually proactively make choices in that and move some things forward. And I think that's a much more powerful, positive place to come from versus feeling that we don't have choice or that we're trapped in some way. Or limited in some way. So I love that there's a way to move forward in that, and that you've made a decision to bring this book forward and have it continue to bring what you've discovered forward, those 8 things that you saw again and again in all different kinds of circumstances. So I'm going to come back to your book, but I wanted to swing over to have you share a little bit about some of the teens that have been able to apply some of these lessons, some of these tools, and find that silver lining and move forward in a positive way.
Yes. Yes. I love sharing a little bit of some of the stories because that's so much a part of the book. And I knew that teenagers needed to hear some real stories and be able to relate. I do share in the book, here's just, and finding, and the theme of your show, finding the balance in life. And I definitely saw that with teenagers trying to do everything: school, sports, clubs, jobs, family life, just everything, and just seeing that overwhelm. One student named Kyle, he was late to school. He was always missing class. He was at risk of not graduating. And as a senior, he was ready to give up. And he was deciding, maybe I don't need to get to my high school diploma. And with that, and as I sat with him, we started to decide on just small actions and a small plan of what he could at least try and see if something might make a difference. And so his mindset, there was a lot to kind of switch his mindset to decide maybe I could do this and reach graduation. And so it started with just small actions that made sense to him. So as you pointed out, it had to be in his control. It had to be what he felt made sense to him. And his first small action was to just go talk to his teachers, and to first talk to one teacher. And that was his first step. And of course, he had a teacher who received him so positively and with such great support that he started to see, maybe I could do this. Maybe I could make some other plans here and reach graduation. So he did. Success, he reached it. It was his plan, his actions, that he made a difference. I'll just share one other story of a student, one with a silver lining, of a student who struggled a lot through high school academically and just had a lot of challenges. And as he was planning to go to college, which he wanted to do, he knew that he had to do some things differently. So that's kind of that review of, I'm reviewing what hasn't been working. And he was able to say, I'm going to do something different. And he chose to and made this plan before even leaving high school, that when he got to college, he was going to immediately use the very important tool of asking for help. And he immediately asked for guidance from advisors and professors. And I am very fortunate that I've been able to stay in touch with many young people that I knew when they were younger and as they grew up, and that I still stay in touch with. And I was able to find out that he was very successful. And it was that learning those tools and changing that mindset of I need to do something differently. So he made that plan. And he found success. He immediately found success, and more support is what he needed. So those are just a couple stories. Yeah, I can keep going, but you let me know.
No, I know you have so many stories. There's one coming to my mind. If you're able to share quickly, if not, they'll have to read the book. But it's about the sign that you had in your office behind you.
Oh, yes. The never, never, never give up. Mm-hmm. And that was another high school senior who I did know for sophomore, junior, senior year, and just struggled so much and truly was not going to make it to graduation. And when she did, she made it, but it took many, many days of sitting in my office and making plans and creating new plans and, reviewing, well, that plan didn't work very well, or that plan kind of fell apart, but that's okay. We're going to make a new plan. And we just kept going. We kept going with that, beginning again, which is one of the tools. We kept beginning again. And she did reach graduation. And as she came in to see me after the graduation ceremony, so in that first week of summer, and she kept looking across at this little sculpture on my shelf. And she said, "Can I take a picture of that?" And I had walked by it for so many years. And I said, "Of course." And I said, "Why? Has that have meaning for you?" And she said, "Yes." She said, "I looked at that every day I came to see you, and it helped me so much." And she wanted to take that with her. So she took a photo and kept that with her. And I since gifted that to the school receptionist of the counseling center. And as I gave a talk to that school and did a wellness assembly for the entire school, I was able to tell them that same story, but that sign is at her desk. So please go take a photo of it if you need it, or go look at it if you need it in your day. So just those simple reminders that are incredible that really we all need.
Yep. And what did it say? Just one more time.
Never, never, never give up.
Beautiful. Thank you. Well, I appreciate so much of what you've shared, how you have stood for teens and their families through so many years, and this beautiful book that you've brought forward that continues to bring that legacy and work forward and shares those tools that we can use, teens and beyond, in our life. And so if you could just share the title of your book for those who aren't familiar with it, that they can add that to their reading list, that would be great.
Yes, of course. The book is called You Can Do Hard Things, Life Tools for Teens.
Beautiful. And I know that can be found on Amazon and where your favorite place to buy books is. It's in lots of different places and formats, so you can choose your favorite format. And it has beautiful pictures in it as well that you've woven into the book as you are sharing it and bringing it forward. I appreciate you taking the time today to share with us and inspire us. And as your teen stories continue to touch hearts and lives and ripple out into the world, listeners, I hope that you have some more tools. I love the have a plan and then begin again. So you can find what works and doesn't work and restructure and restart to move forward those things that are so important to you. And that important reminder, 2 reminders I'm really hearing: never, never, never give up. And you can do hard things. As we go to our next commercial break, I encourage you to sit with those messages and see what tools you want to add to your toolbox and really see what messages and insights are bubbling up. And we'll be back in just 2 minutes.
Voice America is on LinkedIn. Connect with us today.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you've taken a page full of notes, maybe even 2 pages, as you have gone on this journey with us together. And that you really are leaning into adding these tools and perspective to your toolbox and to share them. Like, you can share the replay of the show. You can share what you've learned. You know, sometimes we take these things and drink them in deeply, and then we just keep them to ourselves. So I want you to drink them in deeply, but share those things that touch you. You never know what can really support and be exactly what somebody needs when you connect with them. And if you have something bubbling up, that's probably the thing to share and can make such a difference for that person. So the tool I want to add to your toolbox is to listen, drink these things in deeply, and then listen for those prompts, that opportunity. That's part of how we create that community and authentic connection, is being willing to share those things that are on our heart, those things that we're learning and discovering. Or, I tried this and it didn't work, but I learned I could try again. I learned I could give myself grace. I learned I could do these things too. I can do hard things. I don't have to give up. Oh, my brain operates differently. Let me see what that means. And share and connect with others. We can lead that. We don't have to wait for someone to reach out to us. We can be reaching out to others as well. So I want to encourage that today. All of you are here on purpose and for purpose. What you've discovered and learned and survived and embraced and released is all valuable and can make such a difference. And that's why when I close the shows, I always encourage you to bloom where you're planted. Take in, drink in deeply what you're receiving. Let those roots go deep and then share it out, shine it out into the world. That's how we create ripples and can make a difference. And we do that together as community. Now, our guests today are willing to share their contact information, and this is on purpose. They can be part of your team. You can have that ongoing connection with them and continue to grow and evolve together. And so keep that paper and pen handy. I want you to write down their contact information. They are sincere about ways that you can connect and go deeper. So with that, I'd love to start with you, MK. Can you share the best way for people to connect in with you, go deeper, and just a reminder about where they can get your book and the title?
Yes, I would love to. Very simply, if you go to my website, you can do hardthings.today. It has all of the rest of my platforms and contact information. And rather than trying to read each of them here. But again, going to my website, you can do hardthings.today. I would love to have any and all conversations about our young people and doing hard things and how to manage those hard things and using the life tools. There's also on the website a free tool bookmark that is all about you can do hard things by having courage. So that's a free tool that can be accessed as well.
Wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate it. And then, Jheri, I'd love for you to share the best way for people to connect and go deeper.
Sure. You can go to my website, which is jherisouth.com. There is a unique spelling there, JHERISOUTH.com. And there, of course, I'm on social media as well. But from the website, you can see the work that I do. I specialize in working with families, teens, parents of teens, but I also specialize in working with those who have ADHD, autism. And so in addition to doing one-on-one coaching, which is what I do the most of, I do workshops and speaking events. I go in and do neurodivergent training into the schools. I do have a very inexpensive course on my website with interviews from some of the top specialists with ADHD. I cover anything from estrogen, how to parent kids with ADHD, myths, facts about ADHD, medication, anything that you want to know is in that course. And then I have some great freebies there as well. You can take an ADHD quiz if you suspect that you might have ADHD for free from my website. There's other things there that can help you with parenting, setting boundaries, IEPs in the school system. And so you can schedule a free consult with me if you're interested in any kind of a coaching program or support, and read all about what I do from that page.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And can you share the website link one more time?
It's jherisouth.com. So that's my name, JHERISOUTH.com. And you can find me on social media the same way at Jheri South.
Perfect. I just want to make sure there's so many tools that they can tap into there. I wanted to make sure everybody has the information with their paper and pen ready. So that's perfect.
Thank you.
Absolutely appreciate it. And listeners, thank you for tuning in. I hope you have multiple pages of notes. And as you go forward into the day, take a moment for you. Pause, breathe, choose your next steps, how you want to be. And I hope that you choose to bloom where you're planted, digging those roots deep and shining the beautiful gift of who you are out into the world. Have an amazing week, everyone. And I'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.